In April 2019, should you buy a pre-construction or a resale investment condo? Hi there, I'm Nawar Naji, a real estate broker with Chestnut Park Real Estate in the city of Toronto. If this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, make sure you click on subscribe and that bell button to get notified of my weekly videos. Let's take a look at the numbers to help you decide if you should buy a resale versus a pre-construction condo. Okay, so let's take a look at these two cases that I've looked at. One is pre-construction. I won't name the developer or the exact building name, but I'll tell you that both are in the King West, in the Bathurst and King, somewhere there. Location, one is pre-construction. So this is a one-bedroom, 520 square foot condo on the second floor, selling at $623. So no locker, no parking, nothing else, no higher floor because that price will increase. Then we'll get into the total cost. So you have development charges of $10,000. Now keep in mind, as a real estate investor, you'll be paying HST at closing. You can get a rebate as long as you meet the requirement set up by the government of $24,000. And then you have a whole bunch of other closing costs to take into account. So you got land transfer taxes, legal fees, carry-on enrollment, utilities, which puts you at $683 and change. Now, you'll see I put an asterisk here because there is Section 37 levies, which are extra. Now, this cost will not be determined until closing time, and that is something your lawyer will figure out with the city. So at $683 with 520 square foot condo, you're looking at $1,300 PSF per square foot, the cost of that specific condo. Now, I took a resale that just sold literally a few days ago, sold at $505. So again, no locker, no parking, just the condo in the same area. You have your land transfer taxes of just under $7,000 for Toronto and Ontario. Your legal fees are a little bit less because there's less paperwork involved compared to a pre-construction deal. And then none of this other stuff, no carry-on, no utilities. Puts your purchase price at $521, just under $521, and then based on the square footage of $510, your actual price per square foot PSF is $1,021. Now, I'll come back to these two numbers, the $1,300 and the $1,021. If you look at capital requirement at closing, so I'm using 20% because that is a requirement as an investment property. You got to put 20 down. Then you have HST payable at closing. Now you're getting this $24,000 back, but keep in mind you have to cut a check of $51,000 at closing. So you need access to that capital, whether it's cash or a line of credit. You need access to those funds. So 51 and change. Then you have development charges, land transfer taxes, legal fees, carry-on enrollment. So it puts you at $206, and then you'll get the rebate, HST rebate. And you will end up at net $182 and change as your capital investment for this specific condo. In the case of resale, your capital requirement is $116,950, so $117 if we round it up, which is approximately, what is that, 50%? There's a significant saving between the two examples. Now, here's a few things to consider. One is if you buy today at call it $1,000 a foot, and you're putting $117,000. By the time this project is complete, which is anywhere from 3 to 4 years, you're gonna have appreciation here. You would have paid your mortgage down, and you've only allocated $117,000. Now, in the pre-construction case, you're banking on, if it's 3 years, approximately 8% appreciation per year for the next 3 years, in order for this condo to be at the same price as this. So that's quite a bit of premium, assuming there are no economic hiccups, there's no changes in the economy, and again, 8% per year for the next 3 years. Now, if it's 4 years, you're looking at 6.5% appreciation for every year for the next 4 years, again, which is pretty aggressive, to take that type of appreciation as an assumption when looking at this specific pre-construction. The other thing is you're going to have mortgage pay down. So in 3 to 4 years, this specific property you would have paid down some of the principal And the third factor is the capital. Now, if you have $180,000 or $200,000, you can pretty much buy two of these, almost, not quite, but almost, versus one pre-construction. So if you look at it from, I guess, the 30,000 foot perspective, one is there's a price premium between the pre-construction versus resale, number one. Number two, you would have paid that mortgage down, built some principal equity into that specific condo. And three is that capital. I mean, if you have apples to apples, and we said 200, you can almost buy two. So there's capital preservation when it comes to buying resale versus pre-construction. The moral or the purpose of this analysis is there are times, good times when to buy pre-construction, and there are good times to buy resale. And in my opinion, right now in April 2019 or in 2019, we'll see how things work out this year. I'm just not seeing deals in the pre-construction. Now, who knows what's going to happen down the line? There's still 8 months to go into the year. But from what I see, as an investor, it's wise to consider resale right now versus pre-construction. Now, the cases where pre-construction makes sense, if you're a home buyer, you're not an investor, and you just don't have the funds in, again, whether it's 116 or you can put less than that as an owner occupied. You can do 5%, 10%, somewhere in between. But if you don't have the capital, then a pre-construction could be an option where you're putting these deposits along the timeline of construction, and then you can get a home in the next 3 to 4 years. So that could be a case where this makes sense as a home owner versus an investor. There you have it. I hope you found this analysis to be informative. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, happy investing.